Us. Joining me today is our City Council President, Georgette Gomez. And while we are facing tough challenges in San Diego as we work to curb the spread of COVID-19, San Diegans continue to rise to the occasion. Our communities have felt the impact, but continue to work together through these challenges, taking care of one another. San Diegans are staying home and doing their part to flatten the curve. Thank you. And local businesses, big and small, have made efforts to keep the public safe from the spread of the virus. I want to let San Diegans know that we're doing our part here to provide as much relief in these times of very great need. And that's why City Hall is taking proactive and thoughtful action to help those that are impacted by COVID-19. And today, with my strong support, the City Council voted unanimously in support of two items that are very critical to every single San Diegan. First, the City Council approved emergency legislation to stop the threat of commercial and residential evictions citywide. I think all of us know as jobs disappear, rent payments do not. And I want San Diegans to hear this loud and clear that starting today, San Diegans do not have to worry about losing their home or their storefront during this public health crisis. This ordinance will temporarily halt residential and commercial evictions for those facing a loss of income or increased medical expenses caused by COVID-19. It will go into effect today and will last until May 31st, 2020. This is exactly the relief that our community needs. And it means that San Diegans will have housing stability and prevents countless residents from becoming homeless due to eviction. And I want to be clear about what this law does and does not do. It does protect tenants if they document income loss or medical bills related to COVID-19. It does not relieve tenants of their responsibilities to pay rent at a future date. Landlords can also recover rent at a future date, and rent must be paid if a tenant moves. I want to thank our City Council President, Georgette Gomez, for her leadership and her partnership on this very important issue. And I would also like to thank our City Attorney, Mara Elliott, and countless members of the City Attorney's team who worked overtime to draft this ordinance to get it ready for approval today. And I, of course, want to thank all of my colleagues on the San Diego City Council, the entire City Council. Their unanimous support, I think, sends a very strong message about how closely this city is working together to help San Diegans. The City Council also, earlier today, also approved the creation of a small business relief fund, which I called for last week. This multi-million-dollar fund will help keep small businesses afloat during these very turbulent times. Thousands of San Diegans run small businesses. Thousands of San Diegans are employed by small businesses. And in fact, more than 90% of San Diego businesses are small business. They are the economic engine that keeps our city running. In total, we've allocated more than $6 million in financial relief to small businesses that are facing financial hardship. And this fund will help them sustain operations, retain employees, and fulfill critical product and service orders. Small businesses will be able to qualify for short-term deferred interest loans and grants. And they can apply for $10,000 to $20,000 in microloans as well. Any business with 100 employees or less is eligible as long as they can prove economic hardship due to the COVID-19 and have a city business license and have been in operation for at least 6 months. So I encourage all businesses that meet that criteria to apply starting this Friday at 5 p.m. And for more information about the process, you can go to sandiego.gov/coronavirus. This is the money that many of these businesses need now to help survive this emergency and to keep San Diegans employed. And the actions taken today are vital to helping our community make ends meet during this time of very great need. We will be able to get through this by working together and taking action now on policies like this that make a real difference now. That has been our sole focus over these last several weeks. And now I'd like to introduce our City Council President, Georgette Gomez, who is here to provide some additional information. Council President?
Thank you, Mayor. I first want to acknowledge the work that the city is doing through these difficult times. We're dealing with the health and financial crisis, and we're doing all our best to ensure we are uplifting our residents from this crisis. I appreciate the partnership with the Mayor, Kevin Faulconer, especially during these difficult times. We will come out of this together. Today's actions were necessary because no San Diegans should lose their home or their business because of the loss of income. The council unanimously moved forward 2 critical actions today: an eviction moratorium for residents and commercial leases. No one will be evicted because of the loss of income due to the COVID-19. We also adopted a business relief fund that will be available to our businesses starting this Friday. These 2 actions will be in effect immediately. Together, we will come out of this, but we are urging San Diegans to please stay at home and stay healthy. We want to reassure you that we're doing everything in our power to ensure that we're creating policies and programs in action that will relieve the impact that we're dealing with today. And there's more to come, but today we want to ensure those that are renters, both commercial and residents, that you will not lose your home or your business. This is the right direction and making sure that we're keeping San Diegans safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Council President Gomez. Now I'd like to cover just a couple more important topics. The first is what the city is doing to ensure our housing production continues to the maximum extent possible. At my direction, the Development Services Department is automatically extending applications and existing building permits for 180 days. We will soon be accepting permit submissions online, along with other virtual solutions to make it easier to receive approvals. Please stay tuned to more details and visit sandiego.gov for more information about development services. Next, I'd like to provide an update on our progress to prevent the spread of COVID-19 among homeless individuals. Yesterday, we moved 55 families from the city's bridge shelter on the upper level of Golden Hall, operated by Father Joe's Villages. These families and their belongings were relocated to 2 motels using some of the 200 rooms that were secured by the county and the Regional Task Force for the Homeless. Today, we moved nearly 100 women from the Father Joe's Village interim shelter and from Path Connections interim shelter to the lower level of Golden Hall, right next door. This allows us to free up remaining space for individuals in those shelters to meet the physical distancing guidelines. And staff continues to work on logistics for the convention center. They are working around the clock, and I want to thank them. And we will have updates on the timing as that becomes available. And finally, I'd like to take this opportunity to share a couple good news stories, because there are many that are happening around this city. Last week, my office heard from Brenda, a single mother who was raising 2 teenagers. She recently lost her job, and yet despite of the hardships that she faces, she heard the call, the citywide call for blood donations. And despite her challenges, she stepped up to do what she could do to help others in the community. I want to thank Brenda for going out. I want to thank all San Diegans and encourage all San Diegans to please to continue to donate blood. We desperately need it. This is just one of the great stories about the resiliency and the compassion of other San Diegans helping San Diegans. And the last story I'd like to share today, it comes from one of our safe parking lots operated by the Jewish Family Services. San Diegan named Carly used to volunteer there. And after seeing the recent headlines, she was inspired to come back with a safe parking lot. And not only that, but she took it upon herself to begin delivering meals and items to those most in need that are using the parking lots. Her efforts were met from overwhelming support from local restaurants, who she also got involved to donate meals. And I share these stories because of San Diegans that are continuing to make a difference, taking it upon themselves to do whatever they can. Many of you who are watching are doing similar. Thank you. Your city needs you. We're proud of your help and your support. As we just mentioned, we are going to get through this. We're going to get through this together. We need to ensure that we're continuing to follow all of the physical distancing rules, because the actions of a few can cost the lives of many. That's why it's important that we continue these efforts. And this is how we will beat the virus and flatten the curve, by working together. So thank you. And with that, and that concludes the update for today. I'd be happy to answer any questions from any members of the media today.
Just one quick question regarding application process opens Friday for small businesses.
It does, Friday at 5 p.m., but you can go to the website now to get information about the process.
How soon could businesses see kind of the answer to those applications?
We will be getting back to them within the next week after.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate a little more on like parameters of how much those businesses might qualify for, what they might have to show that they're in need of? I know there's a range of what they could qualify for.
There is, as I said, between $10,000 and $20,000. All of the parameters are going to be on there. I mentioned some of the categories, again, really targeted to small businesses. And so encouraging everybody to go to that website to see if you qualify. And again, some of these short-term helps, these loans and microloans, and in some cases grants, can really make all the difference, particularly in the next month.
Thank you.
Again, and I want to thank our council president and the city council for recognizing how important that is with today's unanimous vote.
Just a quick question on the evictions. I mean, the moratorium ends on the 31st. Is this going to be extended? Can it be extended? You know that typically that...
we will have the opportunity to extend, and that is something that we will work together as a city to do that should it become necessary.
And there was talk also about working with banks in terms of forgiving loans and things of that nature.
I'm glad you asked me that question, because mortgage relief is going to be incredibly important, particularly for landlords. And so I can't say enough about our financial institutions here in San Diego. We're really rising up to not only help with some of that mortgage relief and programs that they have, existing programs, but other programs that they're looking to tailor to this specific crisis. We also heard today, I think we're going to have some support out of the state of California in terms of mortgage relief. So this is an all-hands-on-deck approach, because you have to be able to help those in need and longer-term individuals as well. With that, thank you. Appreciate today's questions, today's updates, and we will be back tomorrow at 4:30. Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you. Thank you, guys.